The VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 702, recorded on November 8th, 2023.
Welcome to the 702nd edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 535th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I am TJ Denzer.
I am Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
All right, what have you been playing, TJ?
I've been playing the holy heck out of Alan Wake 2.
Oh, okay.
I love it. It's such a strange game, and not the least for which is that, Sam Lake shows up as a character insert almost immediately, and it's not a bad thing. He plays a detective, an FBI agent that's voiced by the same guy who voiced Max Payne in Max Payne 3. So you got Sam Lake's face on this character and Max Payne's voice coming out of him. It's like Max Payne 1 and 2 all over again. But then, the horror elements of the story and, the meta shifting and the jumps between, gameplay and live action sequences, this is what FMV animation dreamed of being back in the 90s. This is, it's so weird. It's so good how well they meshed these things together. And they built a really effective horror with it. It's such an emotional whiplash how oddly things happen in the game. You're fighting enemies, you're dealing with these pages that tell you what comes next, but then you're also, doing an investigation into murders, people with their hearts cut out fighting you. It's so weird. It's all so weird, and it's all so good.
This is Alan Wake 2?
With it. What's up?
You said this was Alan Wake 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Resident Evil 4 is still the superior game, but I think as far as horror games go, this might actually be my favorite horror game this year.
Okay.
That is cool. So I remember FMV games, and the best ones usually being Sierra or the Command and Conquer. Those were pretty good FMVs.
Well, Alan Wake 2 isn't an FMV game, but I know that the Remedy loves their TV shows, so there's always FMV going on in their games.
Mm.
There's sequences where you'll see live action segment, and yeah, you're right. The TVs come back, and that's kind of the side prop to it. But then there's moments where you're actually wandering around areas where live action sequences happen intertwined with the gameplay. You'll see a flashback of a scene. You'll experience a flashback, and it will be playing over the gameplay in front of you, but it's a live action sequence. It's odd. It's actually kind of hard to explain, but when it's playing, it's seamless, it's immersive, it doesn't break you out of the mood or take you out of the moment. It's very well done, and it's very Remedy, to say the least. Remedy has a very particular style about their games, I would say, and Alan Wake 2 is the encapsulation of all of that over the years, and I would say it's the most refined version of it as well. It's very good. I
know some people are saying it's the closest thing to a new Silent Hill we'll get for a while.
It probably is, because it is that kind of wacky.
Although we have to see what Bloober Team is up to.
A lot of folks were upset about recent Bloober Team or Silent Hill 2 news because a Best Buy listing shared that Pyramid Head is going to get a whole dang origin story that you play through.
And that's not the point of Pyramid Head. The Pyramid Head is just masculine, a personification of a masculine desires, and which is why he has a big knife that he just shoves through those female nurses.
Yeah, he's like the encapsulation of James Sins. and he doesn't need an origin. That is his origin. He is James' darkest side. And
reminds me of when Pinhead was just one of the other Cenobites. He wasn't anything special. But since everybody liked his design, he became the lead Cenobite, but he was never actually supposed to be the lead Cenobite. And he was definitely not really supposed to focus on his history, in which they did.
Yeah. Like Halloween. Halloween was supposed to be an episodic series, but like everybody loved Michael Myers so much that they were like, you got to bring him back. We got to have more Michael Myers.
It does seem to be a trend with horrors. They find some villain character that's supposed to be just there for a week or so, like Spike on Buffy and Barnabas on Dark Shadows and Sylar in Heroes.
Well, I mean, with Spike, he was just an interesting character that they just followed up on him. And what's funny is that Angel was supposed to be the romantic interest, and he just got shunted to the side. Well, he got his own show, but Angel was never as interesting as Spike was, or Drusilla for that matter.
That's true.
But Masahiro Ito has even gone on saying he wished he never made Pyramid Head because people completely missed the point so badly.
Okay, maybe that's closer to Boba Fett then. Everybody obsessing over this bounty hunter who didn't really have that many lines.
Boba Fett, one of the biggest failures. He's just a good design. Yeah. Him and Darth Maul, they're good designs, but they're not good characters.
Right.
I mean, canonically, in the third film, how does Boba Fett get killed? Oh, he gets whacked by a blind guy and gets eaten by a giant worm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the giant worm just digests really slowly. He got out. We're like, oh yeah, well, Darth Maul was cut in half, but he got robot legs.
Like, I want to believe in Bloober Team because Bloober Team is clearly passionate about this project. They clearly want this to be good, and I don't know.
Maybe they don't have a say in the matter. See, that's the problem.
Yeah, the Pyramid Head getting a full-on playable origin seems like something that a Konami executives asked for or demanded.
Well, remember, it's the merchandising. You need to sell Pyramid Head toys.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why Young Justice wasn't able to go far because it's a fantastic show and it was getting high ratings, but you know what? No one was buying the toys, so we can't have it. Got to sell those toys. That's how Pokemon goes. It doesn't matter about the game. The game is like a minor percentage of it. The entire point of the game is to introduce new Pokemon so they can make new plushies out of the Pokemon. And you might notice that as the years have gone on, the Pokemon have gotten rounder and rounder and rounder and less spiky. That's because rounder makes for better toys.
Mm-hmm. Marketable plushies.
Yeah. I always wanted a Bulbasaur plushie. Make a real Bulbasaur plushie that just squirts when you squeeze it. Like a flamethrower Charizard.
Though. I mean,
imagine a Pikachu that electrocutes you if you touch it wrong.
Interesting is that we were supposed to get Silent Hill 2 remake in 2023, but they're running out of 2023 to throw this game in.
You only got about 2 months left.
Well, they're running out of time for them to release Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox in 2023 too.
I thought they were going to do that in early 2024.
No, they said before. Right. Yeah. There's other games that are coming out in 2024. So, as for me, I upgraded my RAM from 16 to 32 gigabytes, and now City Skylines 2 runs nice and silky smooth at 2K. And I swear, I'm just getting deeper and deeper into the game, and it's like I'm not having to worry about the graphics. I'm getting sucked into the mechanics that are in the game, and it's like there's just so much going on. It's almost overwhelming. You have to. Have you played it yet, TJ?
Cities 2?
Yeah.
I've not had a chance to do it because right now I only have my laptop and I'm still concerned as to whether or not it can make it work.
I think there was a recent patch that makes it work a little easier. But if you do it on low resolution, not something like 1080p, it'll run fine. And I'm gonna get in there eventually because like
a game like Cities Skylines, as long as it's not like atrociously stuttering, I don't need it to be like a smooth 60 frames per second. It's a city management
It's
sim.
supposed to be 30 frames per second anyway. So, but it's like, it's like every single citizen has something to do. And it's like everything happens logically. And you just, even the pets have names and histories, and you can follow them around. The pets. So
That's a cool thing.
It's like, okay, so the wind is going this way, so I got to make sure that the residents aren't downwind of the coal plant. And one frustrating thing was that to be downwind of the coal plant, but the water was going the other way, so I had to create a very long sewage line so it didn't spew out muck into people's drinking water. And then, it's like you have children and teens and adults, and it's just, and you have the radio station, and every so often the narrator they'll cut in and start talking, and usually it's something related. Like if there's a boom in commercial districts, they'll break in and start talking about how businesses are moving in, and then you have the Twitter XP, which has people tweeting or new businesses opening tweeting. Everything has an address. So if you click on that address, you go straight to that building. You can see everything about that building. You can go to a family and see everything about that family or everything in that apartment building. And it is just so involved. I mean, it's like if it's like Forza in that if you really want to just have a surface level, you can do that. But if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, the game will go, okay, here's 40 info screens that you can consult. 40-ish info layers, and you can micromanage if you want. And I'm finding that I'm running out of room, so I'm gonna have to buy land next to it. But also, I noticed, oh wait, I'm now losing $60,000 every in-game day, so I have to figure out how I'm going to make that money, and taxes ain't cutting it. So yeah, you're in for a treat. This game you can delve really deep into and never escape. So yeah, it's a shame that it's a shame it had the graphical glitches. And sort of damaged its launch, perception. But really, it's just City Skylines 2 in a year from now will be everything that everybody wanted from it.
I mean, it already sounds like it's most of the way there. It just needs some optimizations along the way.
I think it got some, because I don't think it was just the 32 gigabytes of RAM that did it. I think there was also a patch probably that one of those hot fixes. I'm pretty sure there's probably a hot fix because I have everything on auto download anyway.
Yes, I remember one of my colleagues saying that one of the last set of patch notes for the game optimized some key things that were really messing things up.
Yeah, and it's just the way the game evolves as you play it. Every time I stop at a certain point and you say, okay, now that I know about that, I'm going to start over with that in mind. It's sort of one of those games in which you play a bit and you realize, oh, you know what? I could do better. Stop, restart, do it again.
I have done that as well.
Yeah. Anyways.
There was a note in the last patch notes where now the game will prioritize rendering large objects and rendering small objects afterwards to help with the GPU. So that probably helped quite a bit.
Yeah, like I said, I have 32 gigabytes now, so everything's running buttery smooth. Starfield too. I haven't played much Starfield lately because I've been doing a lot of other stuff. But now it's like when I get into Starfield, all the grass is waving. It's like individual grass almost. So that looks a lot better too, and we have some news about Starfield as well we're going to talk about, but not just yet. Scott, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Star Ocean 2 Remake, and it's been
Oh.
really enjoyable. I like the voice acting. All the portraits are really good. They've lip synced them, and they have different emotional reactions, so it's nice to see those. The combat's good. I think they upgraded it because they introduced a mechanic where as you kill enemies, you generate these little, I guess, star points or whatever, and they unlock an ability depending on your formation that you're using.
Okay, I'm going to say right now, it looks like what 100 Heroes is going to be. Really realistic environments, but with the anime character, the 2D anime characters, sort of blended in there, so it looks like they're a part of the environment.
Yeah, that's I would say that's accurate. And they also, I think, introduced some other stuff because there seems to be guild quests that just I keep getting battle points and skill points all over the place with these quests and just I don't know, every little thing you do seems to get you stuff. And of course the game has fishing, so if you need to do your JRPG fishing, you can do that.
So far it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Yep.
Although there's only 838 reviews, so it's like people who love the game have played it, but I don't think it's getting the attention that, and I didn't know that it had come out, so that sort of says something, Square.
I guess I don't know. I noticed it, so I don't know what else to say there.
And also, there's a demo on Steam if anybody wants to try it out.
So it's a good game.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the quick news. And speaking of Starfield, Starfield's big DLSS update is now available on Steam in beta. The update also enables people to eat and drink wherever they want to. Previously in the game, in case you're wondering, you had to pick up food to eat it. Now you can just eat it as it sits on a table or something. There's a bunch of other updates to it. I didn't have a big deal. I didn't really, I'm not that upset about not having DLSS, but I know that it was a major issue for people who really wanted DLSS on the game.
Yeah, this was like, I heard people with like a tinfoil hat thought that like AMD somehow stopped this from happening from the get-go because Microsoft and AMD have made a deal on something, but like, I don't know. It just seems like something that they had to work to implement. And based on the patch notes I saw, it's in beta, and second, you can't run some of the features with VSync on, so it sounds like it's like a work in progress.
For those who don't know, DLSS is deep learning and super resolution. No, deep learning something.
Deep learning super sampling.
Right. And basically what it does is it enables your computer to just go crazy.
Yep.
It enables ray tracing for some things. There's just a lot that it can do, and it just makes everything look great. I mean, if you use DLSS with Cyberpunk 2077, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah. It smooths everything out in real time and is supposed to like basically use AI to fill in the gaps of wherever the graphics aren't up to snuff. Which it's very cool when it's in action and if you have the rig to work it. But for a game like Starfield that's already beautiful when it's in action, this is going to be fun to have.
Well, I plan to get a 3080 or 3090, and I need a 4000, but I want to get that at some point because I do want to play Portal in ray traced Portal. I have it. I want to play it in ray trace just to see how it is in ray traced. So, yeah, I'm going to get a new graphic card at some point. When's the last time I bought a sound card?
I don't know, 20 years, maybe 30.
I mean, here's the thing. You can buy a new computer that does have a sound card, but usually the sound card is for output. It'll have the output jacks so that you can do, special things, but the computer no longer needs a sound card. Sound cards are basically just now really for output. I do, at some point I do also want to get a TV in out so I can stream Xbox 360 games through my PC.
I always liked doing video capture from TV or VCR I haven't done that in such a long time.
Yeah, I have some tapes that I might want to do that with, but no, basically I do. I just want to, stream Xbox 360 games through it. Anyways, more quick news. Super Mario Brothers Wonder sells 4.3 million worldwide. Nintendo states all Switch sequels are selling better than the predecessors, including Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Super Smash, and 3D Mario. But here's the thing. You have to put an asterisk on Animal Crossing, the last one, because it was basically during a pandemic when everybody was inside and you could download it digitally and you could play it because you weren't able to go out. So it got a little help from there. But Mario Wonder seems to be getting a lot of praise. Have either of you played it yet?
Yes, I
No,
love it.
not yet.
It's a very good game. Like the way that they improvise and bring new mechanics in on a series that's 35 years old and make it feel fun and fresh again is neat. I love Elephant Mario. And,
yes, he's actually now the poster child for that game.
And I love the wonder effects. Every stage has a wonder effect when you get the wonder flowers that makes it just weird and zany and introduces like creative new challenges. And I really, really, not only do I think this is a good Mario game on its own, I think it's the blueprint for Super Mario Maker 3 because there's a lot of there's a lot of enemies and mechanics. And
guess who's back? Daisy is back. Daisy.
Yeah.
And so is Toadette. When's the last time you saw Toadette?
There are so many things in this game that make it seem like Super Mario Maker 3, when it happens, is going to be a blast.
I mean, it's Mario, but, a lot of people are doing this now, the full 3D backgrounds, but everything's 2D in front, and it's sort of like you're playing plasticine characters now.
And they did a great job with multiplayer, too. Like, basically now, when you turn on multiplayer, you'll have other players that are also racing. You'll see their, ghosts racing through the courses as well. And it's more than just cosmetic. Like, if you die and you touch the ghost of another player, then it'll bring you back to life, and you can continue the level.
And I don't want to sound churlish, but Rayman did that a long time ago.
But it's good in this case because you don't necessarily play with the same people. You just have a bunch of online people that will randomly appear in your stage because they happen to be playing at the same time as you.
Okay. I see Goombas wearing a Mario hat and a Luigi hat and a mushroom hat and a Yoshi hat.
Yeah. There's I'm going to say it, the wonder effects go wild in this game, and that might or might not be one of those things.
Yeah. And the Mario's gotten to the point of being like Ratchet and Clank in terms of the character visuals. It's very sharp. It's like you're playing with an actual toy.
Mm-hmm. It's just a very good overall game, top to bottom. It's just an extremely good platformer. And it sounds like Nintendo let a lot of younger developers work in ideas for this one. Apparently it was just in development for a pretty long time. And they played around with thousands of ideas and figured out and sifted it down to what they actually wanted to put in.
I wonder if they said, "We want Daisy. Bring back Daisy. We haven't seen Daisy." Does Pauline appear?
Not that I've seen so far.
Oh, okay. That's who has to appear next, is Pauline. She was there when it all started, damn it.
Yeah.
When Mario was known as Jumpman. And, of course, Luigi now uses his hat as a parachute. Wait a minute. Yep. Luigi is Mario's little brother?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that was the way it was in the Super Mario movie with Bob Hoskins, but...
He's always been his little tall lanky brother.
I know, but not younger. I always thought they were more like twins.
Huh.
I believe there's a DLC on the way too.
Also, it's weird. Also, one of the weirder things is that the toads use their mushroom caps as floaty devices instead of hats, which confirm that the mushrooms on their heads are kind of hats, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But Toadette is back.
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever leave is the question. I don't know. The last few Mario games, all the Toads are the same. It's like there were millions of Toad clones. So, did you get the drill mushroom?
Yes. I've gotten the bubble power up and the drill power up, and all of them are just dang fun. Even I don't know, something about the fire flower just feels more snappy in this game. I don't know. It's all very well polished, very well done.
Yeah. Finally, Chucky's coming to Dead by Daylight with Brad Dourif voicing him, and Jennifer Tilly will also be playing Tiffany as an alternate skin, which is really cool. If you want to play as Chucky, you can play as Chucky, or you can play as Tiffany instead. It's too bad. I'm pretty sure one of the survivors won't be Jennifer Tilly, because I still enjoy Seed of Chucky, in which Jennifer Tilly played herself.
Yeah, from what I can see so far, it doesn't look like we're gonna have a. It doesn't look like we're gonna have a survivor this time. It looks like it's just gonna be a killer, which.
It's fine.
That's not so bad. Chucky's a great addition, and the fact that they got Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly for this is even better.
Yeah, it's sort of like it was sort of like the Turtles with Injustice 2. Instead of just getting the Turtles all together, it's like you can alternate between them. You could be Leonardo or be Leonardo or Michelangelo or stuff like that. Here, you can choose to be either Chucky or Tiffany, and have their original voices voicing them.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was gonna be a survivor around, like based
on the little kid
Child's Play
from the first game.
Yeah, because like he's in the series for like 3 movies, right?
Yeah, but he's old in the third movie. It's like, not old but older. Better when he was just kicking the crap out of Chucky as an 8-year-old kid.
Andy Barclay. But
oh, you know what? Actually, maybe it'd be nice if they somehow snuck in Glenn or Glenda.
Yeah.
Because that is the son or daughter of Chucky and Tiffany. They don't know which he is.
Yeah. Like this, it's actually kind of surprising that it took them so long to do Child's Play, because Chucky is a ridiculously creepy horror icon.
Let me ask you a question. Maybe they were waiting, because would you want to have Chucky voiced by anybody but Brad Dourif?
No, not at all.
See, there you go. So it was just like maybe they were patient with Brad Dourif saying, okay, I'll do it.
And money can't be a problem, because they literally just put Nicolas Cage in the game earlier this year.
Yeah. I like the fact Jennifer Tilly is involved too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people would have been happy to see a Bride of Chucky skin, but to have Jennifer Tilly come back and play the role is fantastic. Like, you got to hand it to Behavior Interactive. They take this stuff seriously. They're very passionate about it. They have a good idea of what makes horror work and what horror fans love about their franchises. And like Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly are like a big part of what people love about Chucky. Speaking
of these games, I'm glad that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also gotten a big following, because, these are the guys that did Friday the 13th, and they lost the licensing. They made sure that they're going to have the licensing forever for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and fans who are playing Friday the 13th are really enjoying Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because now you have a choice of more than one villain in that. You have 3 villains that you can choose from or play together. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 3 versus 4. Sure. But you have the 3 family members and you have the 4 survivors, something like that. So I'm glad that they were able to rebound. And, if you can't have Friday the 13th, hey, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a good choice too.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, we're going to move on to game news. Rockstar officially announces GTA 6 reveal in December. This comes just from PC Gamer. Mere hours after rumors began to spread that Rockstar was gearing up for an official Grand Theft Auto 6 announcement, ahead of a proper trailer in December, Rockstar has gone and made an official GTA 6 announcement ahead of the proper trailer in December. In the post on a Rockstar blog marking the studio's 25th anniversary, company president Sam Houser announced that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto before letting people know that the studio looks forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with you. I'll comment on that in a moment. There's still plenty that is unknown about the next entry. There's 2 Bonnie and Clyde inspired main characters. It's set in Vice City, and it's believed it'll come out in 2024. Yeah, this is like spending many more years of sharing these. Yeah, that means they'll be releasing it for the PlayStation 6, the PlayStation 7, the PlayStation 8, for the Xbox XSYZ or whatever. They're just gonna milk this thing like nothing else. The one thing I wonder is if it's going to be fully online, like sort of like an online sandbox that is not, it's single player but still online connected in that you have connectivity there and you can invite people into your city and stuff like that. I know that GTA Online is making bank like nothing else. And from Bonnie and Clyde, I'm glad. The one thing I enjoyed from GTA 5 were the heists, in which you had to pick people, and I always thought it was too limited. I wish there was more of a selection and there was more planning to it. But I do like the idea of expanding on the heists from GTA 5.
Yeah, for sure. Those were always some of the most fun parts of the game. And
I just love this. It's an announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, and it seems to me that this announcement wouldn't have happened, but I also heard that there were leaks. And
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Rockstar made those leaks. This is fake leaks. These are leaks by the studio. There is no way in hell that they didn't do this themselves.
I mean, maybe so, because they have been pretty mum on this for a while, despite everyone trying their hardest to see under the curtain.
And it's in 2024, so they've been, working on it for years. I mean, what else have they been working on? I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2018, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, what else have they been doing? They haven't re-released a ping pong game again. They should release another ping pong game.
Grand Theft Auto 6. It's
so long as Trevor's not there, I'm Francis Trevor, whatever. That idiot.
They'll come up with an even more abhorrent character.
I think maybe not. I think well, anyways, but Bonnie and Clyde, okay. Set in Vice City though, so it's been a while since we've been to Vice City.
Vice City was always my favorite setting of all of the Grand Theft Autos, so I'm excited for that. I like a good coastal, I like the Miami feel of Vice City. Liberty City is decent, and I can't even remember what the LA version is supposed to be. Los Santos, that's the one.
It was actually LA and San Francisco. San Andreas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Los Santos was the LA part of it, but San Andreas was the name of the game.
But Vice City, there's something about Vice City that's just it's exotic, it's party time all the time. It's
a lot of Flock of Seagulls, Iran.
Yeah.
All the 80s music, all the Miami Vice inspired stuff.
That's another part of it I kind of like that I hope kind of makes it over to Grand Theft Auto 6 is I love that sort of vaporwave vibe. I love me some pinks, some purples, some blues, and some oranges.
I'd laugh if they said, "Oh, guess what? It's not based in Miami. It's more of a version of Las Vegas."
I wouldn't mind that. I don't know. Vice City sounds fun though, and it's been a long time since we had anything take us back there.
Yeah. Take the next item, TJ.
Alrighty, will do. PlayStation and X breakup from CGM. Sony made a startling announcement late on Monday evening when they announced that the PS4 and PS5 consoles will no longer be able to share X and Twitter posts, removing X and Twitter integration entirely. Way back in April this year, Microsoft drove the final nail into their own X and Twitter integration, effectively ending the ability to share Xbox console screenshots or video clips with the platform. The reasoning back then was so that Microsoft did not have to pay the upcoming growing API fees from Twitter and X. Elon Musk himself responded to the potential traffic loss to Twitter back then with, "I'm open to ideas, but ripping off the Twitter database, demonetizing it, removing ads, and then selling our data to others isn't a winning solution," in a post on the site. Yesterday, Sony announced a similar plan for their own Twitter X integration. Effective as early as next week, PS4, PS5 consoles will not be able to share directly with the site. Sony took things a step further and announced current content published straight to the site will also become unavailable as soon as next week, following Sony's previous termination of the Spotify app on PlayStation. All X and Twitter integration ends on November 13th, according to Sony, leaving only the Nintendo Switch as the last big three consoles to share to X and Twitter.
You can give it that's going to go bye-bye too.
Yeah. Although Microsoft also killed its integration with X Twitter, fans still regularly post their content to the site with workarounds. Sony details sharing by allowing fans to upload their screen caps to the PS app, taken by using the DualSense Create button, and then upload their X Twitter posts account manually. This can also apply to video content, not 4K, that is within 3 minutes of length. While this is not as easy as it currently is, it does correct the issue. So, and actually, I've been using the PS app to get my clips and screenshots over to Twitter, anyways, because
yeah. So you can do it on the Xbox app, and basically what you do is on the Xbox, you upload it to the not OneDrive, but it's you upload it to the system, and then from the app you can take that picture and just share it on Twitter. What's annoyed people is that they all got the announcement that old videos that are on the not in the cloud. Oh jeez. Just stuff that's uploaded to the Xbox where they keep all the pictures and videos will be deleted after like 6 months. It won't delete stuff that's on your console because that's your hard drive space that you're occupying, but anything you sent uploaded online will be taken off, which is a slight bummer. But again, you can easily just save that stuff on some other site. Just take it off and just put it somewhere else.
This is Elon's own fault. It didn't have to be this way.
He's trying to make a super app, and it's not going to happen.
No, he hasn't. He has absolutely no idea of what makes Twitter special or how it works.
I think I've heard that he's considering taking off the hashtag. It's like he wants to tank Twitter.
Well, no, the thing is that half of all those blue tags that subscribed last year are gone now. So people have found that those blue tags aren't really worth anything, so they're just opting out. They don't want to pay for it. So that's why they say, I'm going to take them off completely. Well, yeah, because you're losing them.
Yep. And he's not like doing anything to win advertisers back. Like, if anything, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then he goes and makes posts about how woke mob is ruining America. And it's like, A, that has nothing to do with anything. B, you're promoting terrible people. And C, your platform is a zoo of horrible content that includes violence, pornography, and much worse things.
I don't mind the pornography. The pornography is fine.
I mean, I'm not shaming sex workers, but I am going to say that I don't log on to Twitter and then fucking just like a floppy dick comes across my timeline from somebody that I don't fucking even follow.
Yeah, with me it's different. I'm getting all these right-wingers that I definitely do not follow. I'm thinking, wait, why is it targeting me? So it's like, and thank God, Apple has the policy that if you remove your ability to block people, they will take your app off the store. Because Elon does not like the block function. He does not. He wants to take it off, but if he does that, then he's committing suicide because Apple will say, fuck you, bye.
Yeah. If he loses the App Store, then he's truly fucked that app into the ground.
Yeah. Although I will say it is a website, not an app, technically. The app just accesses the website, so I'll be pedantic there for a moment.
But yeah, I've already been using this workaround with the PS app because it's like way back, PlayStation got rid of integration with Facebook, so I didn't have a way to post screenshots and clips to Facebook.
Do you remember when Sony had this thing in which every time you did something, it would post that to Twitter, and your timeline was full of all these PlayStation posts, like hundreds and hundreds every day? It's like just spamming everybody with what you're doing on your PlayStation. You remember that? It was like back in the PlayStation 3 days.
Yeah. And now, thank goodness, they have tons of options for how much you want to share and how little you want to share. But it was a long way here.
I wish there was more of a social presence on the Xbox, though. I mean, you have your profile and you have your things, but I don't really... To me, it's like underselling it. You know, as bad as PlayStation Home was, I would like a little bit more integration along those lines on consoles, you know, in which there was more of a interactivity, in which there was a button in which you can leave a message for friends or something like that, you know. Not just post something on your timeline, and I almost never check other people's timelines. I mean, they have clubs, but I don't think that's enough. And clubs are just for people who are looking for group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I know a lot of folks that are really lamenting this are fighting games players, because sharing tech directly from the PlayStation to Twitter was like, a lot of people do that all the time, and I'm not gonna lie, it's how I found a lot. It's like Twitter used to be a place where when a new fighting game came out, I would wait like a week or so, and then I would start looking for hashtags of the character that I want to play, and looking up like the combos that they can do, because it was a great way to share it. Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore.
Anyways, Scott, take the next item.
Okay. Nintendo says Switch release won't be bound by traditional platform lifecycle. This is from Eurogamer. As reports of a Switch successor continue to build momentum despite carefully phrased rebuffs from Nintendo, the Mario Maker has said it'll continue to release titles for its current console without being bound by the traditional concept of the platform lifecycle. Nintendo made the statement thanks to Game Informer as part of its latest earnings report, in which it also confirmed Switch sales have now surpassed 132 million units. Writing Switch will be entering its 8th year, March 2024. We will continue to release new titles and content for Nintendo Switch without being bound by the traditional concept of the platform lifecycle.
By the way, you know what? Just so you know, so people know that today Nintendo had their earnings call, which is why we're getting so much Nintendo news right now.
I always thought it was interesting. People were like, they just have this idea from somewhere how long a console is supposed to be around and how popular and all that. And I always thought that was weird. Like, it's around as long as it wants to be. And it just always seemed strange that people said it had a life cycle.
So, here's the thing. The point of this entire article, there's more of it, but we might as well talk about it, is that Nintendo's usual thing was that when it released a console, everybody switched to the new console. You know, they just leaped to the new console. If you had a Wii, you went to the Wii. Oh, that's a bad example. If you were Nintendo 64, you went to the GameCube. You went from the GameCube, you went to the Wii. And generally, for a long time, it was like, yep, your old games, that's fine. You have to buy the new games now. Then they had backwards compatibility between the, I think it was the GameCube and the Wii, and then the Wii U and the Wii, and now the Switch. And what they're saying here is that they're going to be doing what PlayStation and Microsoft Sony and Microsoft are doing right now with because a lot of the new games that are being released on Xbox and PlayStation are for the previous gen. They just happen to work on the new gen. There's the first party games are generally the new gen only, but a lot of games work. You know, if you go into Microsoft Store, a lot of those games are going to be also for the Xbox One, and same thing with PlayStation. A lot of new games that are on the store are going to be for the PlayStation 4. They just happen to work with the PlayStation 5 too. So it sounds like Nintendo is going to continue to release stuff for the Switch that's out now, even after the next Switch comes out, so that there's gonna be the same, you know. It's just that the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called is going to be a little more powerful and hopefully have a lot more memory in it.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have a timeline on the Switch as well, like how long they're going to support it. It was like, I forget which earnings results it was, but the president of Nintendo basically said they intend to support the original Nintendo Switch through 2025.
By the way, Scott, read the last paragraph.
Sure. The inference, which isn't
No, Nintendo's already announced.
Okay. Nintendo has already announced a robust lineup of Switch titles leading through to at least summer of next year, including Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Princess Peach Showtime, Another Code Recollection, and Luigi's Mansion HD 2 HD. With the likes of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door HD and Mario Prime 4 also on the way. The company has said its goal is to minimize the dip you typically see in the last year of one cycle and beginning of another. Its latest statement, pointing to continued support for Switch, however vague, perhaps offers a clue on how it's planning to achieve that.
I refuse to believe my Metroid Prime 4 is coming out anytime soon. That is just a ghost. That's stuff in mirrors. It's vaporware. I don't believe there's going to be a Metroid Prime 4. I mean, it's supposed to have come out for the past how many years now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had a remaster. We had the Metroid Dread. I don't know. I wouldn't count it out. I just, because it's one of their IPs. They're their pillars that they use, and so I would say more Metroid is good, just as much as more Zelda or more Mario.
I don't know. Is Metroid really one of the pillars anymore? I mean, it's hardly regarded, but it's not like they're constantly releasing, like they do with Mario or Zelda.
I would never have considered Metroid a pillar. It's like, it has a really, really fervent fan base, and they are very, very dedicated. But it's more, I would put Metroid in the same camp as F-Zero.
I mean, look, 4 of the titles of the 6 we mentioned were all Mario games.
Yeah. And like I said, I would put Metroid in the same camp as F-Zero. They have really dedicated fans, but that's not what you think of when you think of Nintendo immediately.
I don't know. I guess when I was playing Animal Crossing, I would see stuff from the other IPs. Like, you get the Mario stuff, you get the Zelda stuff, and there was even some Metroid stuff in there too. So
yeah, Metroid Dread, the last one I believe was. When did Metroid Dread come out? Was that like 2 years ago?
I thought it was. Yeah, it might be in 2 years. I think it was 2022. Yeah, it was 2022.
I just wonder when the next Kid Icarus is going to come out, or the next Star Fox, or there's a lot of pillars that are out there that, well, not pillars, but original IPs that have been really popular. That they simply have not supported lately. Pikmin 4 was kind of a surprise that they actually released that.
Yeah. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the next Nintendo Switch when it finally does happen, because even if they've denied what might be going on, there was a recent patent that talked about it, that Nintendo filed, that talked about a dual screened handheld gaming device that could split into 2 pieces. So we're talking about you might have a Switch-sized Nintendo DS type thing, and then you can unclip the top screen part and put it somewhere, and as if you were playing the Switch on a.
Or you could have 2 people playing with a screen each. Yeah.
Everything is so interesting about it, and I'm really excited to see what happens. But I also I cannot complain about. Nintendo has had a stellar 2023.
I'm going to say they've had a stellar last 7 years with the Switch.
Yeah. But this year in particular, they put out a remake of Metroid Prime, which everybody loved, the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which everybody was waiting on forever, a really good core Super Mario game. They've got Super Mario RPG remake coming up this month. It's just been like they've been on a hot streak.
Which is why the new console will make bank. I mean, even if you love your Switch, you're going to get the new one because right now the trust factor is high in terms of what Nintendo is putting out.
You're dang right, and I don't care if I'm an idiot about it. I will buy every one of these games again on that new console.
I don't think you'll. But here's the thing: that what the entire article is saying, you won't need to do that.
Yeah, and I hope that's the case, but I would if I needed to.
Okay.
I understand the fear, TJ. I really do, because I mean, I remember growing up playing the NES, and then we got a Super Nintendo, and of course there was no backwards compatibility there. And then you go to N64, and there's no backwards compatibility. I mean, you can't. There's cartridges, but I do know that fear as well.
Yeah. But like, I'm excited. There's so much good stuff still ahead for Nintendo too, and I'm here for it. I love it.
And the last item, the enormous new Stellaris DLC finally has a release date, and this comes from some PC Games N. The massive new Stellaris DLC, Astral Planes, which introduces entirely new realities with their own branching stories and consequences, finally has a release date. The Paradox space strategy sim is already enormous, but Astral Planes is set to expand the entire Stellaris universe with dozens of fantastical new worlds, providing additional research, technologies, quests, and consequences as you explore terrors in space-time. With Astral Planes, strange tears in the fabric are called astral scars, which will begin to appear. During the mid-game, these will eventually blossom into astral rifts, which you can study and research and eventually explore using one of your scientists. Similar to archaeological sites, your scientists will steadily report back any findings and technological resources they can find inside the rifts, but there's a catch. As your scientists explore the rifts, there are more than 30 possible rift sites in your Stellaris universe. You'll be presented with choices on how to proceed. You might want to be cautious and pick research options that protect your precious explorers. Alternatively, you can be more daring and risk the lives of your scientists in hope of making an incredible new discovery. Every rift serves as a branching, self-contained story, and the outcome will depend entirely on your decisions. It's coming out Thursday, November 16th. I just started Stellaris again in fits and because I've been busy with some other games. I plan to get back more into it. And just playing the regular game is daunting unto itself.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been back in Stellaris. I think the last time I started a campaign in that game was when Behemoths came out. I think that was what it was called, where you had like these planet-sized monsters roaming the galaxy, and it was like random which ones could appear during your game. I bet that if I played Stellaris right now and started up a game with all the DLC they've had, it would just be mind-blowingly different.
Keep that like, tutorial toggle on.
Yeah. Like between, I know they introduced the robotic AI races. I know that they introduced like an actual, like a straight up late game war that happens in Stellaris now. And then this, like all of it, every one of these expansions has been like massive game progress affecting DLC.
It is for Paradox. They know how to make DLC.
Yeah. And Stellaris is so old at this point. I think it's lasted for like 2 full Civilization games.
I think it came out in 2011. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That was
2016. Okay. But still, that's 8 years, which is a lifetime. It has 110,000 reviews on Steam.
So much time, so many hours spent in that game, and I love it. It's probably like I like the Endless games a little bit, but I don't think they're as good as Stellaris.
Yeah, isn't Endless Dungeon coming out again? A new version of it?
It's a roguelike top-down shooter called Endless Dungeon, yeah. And it takes place in the Endless universe. It's pretty good. I've played previews of it, and it's not a bad idea. It's just it's so different from what I would expect from an endless game. And I never played it's a sequel. They've done something like this before, but I've never played the original one.
You know what? Go ahead.
I'm so used to 4X within the Endless series that it's such a strange jump for me.
You know what's sad is that, it came out the same year? The Master of Orion reboot, and Stellaris just ate its lunch.
Listen to this. This is the list of full on not like small DLC, full on expansions that have come out for Stellaris. Planetoids, Leviathans, Utopia, Synthetic Dawn, Humanoids, Apocalypse, Distant Stars, Megacorp, Ancient Relics, Lithoids, Federations, Necroids, Nemesis, Aquatics, Overlord, Toxoids, First Contact, Galactic Paragons, and now Astral Planes.
Yeah. All the DLC that Master of Orion has is 3 race packs, and that's it. It's like... like I said, Stellaris came and ate Master of Orion's lunch. And Master of Orion 2 was the space 4X game. It was the 4X game. And then
yeah, I've often heard good things about Master of Orion.
And then when Master of Orion was announced, I got the early access. And I really haven't. When did I last play this game? I'm going to be embarrassed to see on Steam what the last date that you play it. But yeah, I just, but the problem with Master Orion 2 was so hard. It was so difficult. It's like at some point the people would come spewing out and the Orions would come and just wreck you. And it's like, yeah, game over. You got wrecked by an extremely advanced race because you didn't set yourself up right. And the funny thing is, Master Orion and Stellaris have the same style of 4X. They're both actually, Galactic Civilizations was the one that came out after Master Orion basically vanished, the original Master Orion games, and they did their own version of it, which is more of an RPG, more of a narrative RPG, and that's what both Stellaris and the Master Orion reboot did. So last time I played Master Orion, the reboot, was July 6, 2019. So yeah, it's been a while since I last played that. I don't know why I haven't played it. It's not a bad game. I think maybe it's just bland. Like it's everything, all the personality of Master Orion 2 and just, sandpapered it out. But Stellaris has a lot of personality, which is why I think it's popular. So.
Yeah, I think like right out of the gate, being able to create your own race with your own like sense of.
Oh, you could do that in Master Orion, but it's still bland.
Right. I loved creating. I loved making my own races and like doing my own thing after I understood the rules of Stellaris. It is definitely one of those games where once you like realize how it works, it's fun to bend it.
Anyways, we have listener feedback. Take it away, TJ.
This is from Ralph. Hi, guys. Thank you for the episode and congratulations to number 700. Thank you. What an amount of episodes. I respect your work even if I'm not able to listen to every episode. Thank you so much for hundreds of hours of entertainment. Regarding this special episode, I can't say so much, sadly. I don't play and I've never played any Call of Duty or Guilty Gear, so can't say anything about that. About modding, I never cared much for mods in any game. Normally I buy games because I like them the way they are because I can or have to mod, and not because I can or have to mod them. That's fair. I'm kind of in that same camp when it comes to a lot of stuff. There's a handful of games that I feel like I want to like Fallout 4 is one of those games where once you're done with it, it's fun to go back and fiddle with the rules.
I think the only mods I do are graphic upgrades.
The only game I played the last weeks was some Magic the Gathering. I downloaded some smaller games to my Switch because I'm flying out to Miami next week. So I needed something on the flight. Now, if I remember correctly, Ralph is from Germany. Yep, he says right. He's from Germany. Greetings for Germany. Stay safe and welcome to our country. We hope you have a good time. The only game I'm looking forward to is Silksong. Everything else did not catch me at all.
You know, every time there's an Xbox presentation, everybody just repeats Silksong, Silksong. I don't know if that thing's coming out ever. When was it first announced? Like 2018. It's like how long does it really take to make a sequel to that game? It's Hollow Knight. It's like it's not exactly backbreaking, or at least it doesn't seem so to me. Maybe it's really tricky to get play balance, but I don't know what's taking that game so long.
Let's see. I feel like the scope went way beyond what they thought it was going to be from the beginning, and like it's just a part of it has been adjusting to the scope of the project as it's grown.
What were you going to say, Scott?
Oh, just noticing that I think Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild had come out around 2018, and then Tears of the Kingdom was 2023, so it was like just thinking about that, how we had gotten that, and it was originally going to be DLC and then expanded.
Yeah.
So I think that's what TJ was alluding to too, that the new scope of the project is getting adjusted to it, and trying to make it work, I guess, as a new game.
Well, if you find out it has NFTs or something.
I worry about Team Cherry and I worry about Silksong because I actually don't think, as hyped as that game has been and as much as everybody has wanted it, I just don't feel like it can ever live up to the expectations that people have for it.
It just needs to be Hollow Knight, except with a bow on top.
Sure.
I don't think it's as bad as the whole Half-Life 3 meme gets. It's like there's nothing for that at all, and this, I don't know, this will come out when it's ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, the sequel to Ori was basically just, I'm going to simplify this a lot, but it was just basically more of the same Ori that you've enjoyed. It's like a full game expansion. I mean, I think people just want Silksong to be more of Hollow Knight.
Yeah. And I hope it will be. And I hope that people enjoy it when it does happen. I think it'll eventually happen. It's not like it's Ubisoft who is delaying games up until they cancel them.
Well, you mean like Beyond Good and Earth 2?
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil. They had another thing that says, oh, here's a little bit of snippet of Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it's like, okay, whatever. Where's the game, damn it? When did they
Beyond
first
Good
have...
and Evil 2, Skull and Bones, and also the Prince of Persia, Sands of Time.
Oh, well, Skull and Bones is just a friggin' ripoff of World of Warships. It's just...
But also the Prince of Persia, Sands of Time remake, which was announced, and we even got a trailer for it, and then they said, delayed indefinitely.
Oh.
Let's see here.
But Ralph rounds out by saying, sorry for not commenting, really constructive or interesting. Please keep on the good work and please stay healthy. Greetings from Germany, Ralph. Hey, no worries, man. We appreciate hearing from you.
So the first time Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced was at the 2017 E3. And since then, a couple of years later, they had that trailer, which was baffling, which had none of the previous characters. At least the first teaser had Paige sitting. Paige, for those who don't know, is the pig man. And then they just had this, like 3 years later, they had this dogfight with these furries cursing at each other. It's like, is this Good and Evil 2? Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, what are you doing? Although I will say, if they ever make Crimson Skies 2, I'll be there. I'll be ready for that. That's one IP that Microsoft has that everybody loves, and they really haven't done anything with. Crimson Skies.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't mind an open world MMO flying sim.
Yeah.
If I could just you could straight up have factions, you could have bases all over like.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The original Good and Beyond Evil 2 trailer was in 2008. The weird trailer was in 2017.
Yeah. And we've heard so much about it since. I don't know what Ubisoft does best these days, but it's certainly not make games.
Something is weird going on with Michel Ancel. There's something weird going on with him. I don't know what it is. It's like, what's funny is that he got a special thanks for credit for Psychonauts 2. And this is 6 years before he did anything. The last thing he did was Rayman Adventures in 2015.
Let's see.
There's something going on with him. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like he's gone funny.
Yeah, maybe so.
Right. So yeah, it was. There were claims that there was allegations of toxic leadership at Ubisoft, which is not exactly a surprise considering what's going on at Ubisoft. But he's denied the allegations and said it was fake news, which makes me believe, yeah, he was toxic. I have to believe he's toxic. If it's taking 15 years to get this game out, it surpassed Duke Nukem Forever now. Duke Nukem Forever took 14 years.
Yeah. Like, I have no idea. Like, and the only thing that they're doing with Rayman these days is like putting him in cameo roles anyways. Like that's one of the most iconic faces of your entire company.
Well, here's the thing. Rayman introduced raving rabbits, and now the rabbits have taken over the asylum.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
It's like, I mean, they're like minions, you know? They're the original minions. It's like...
Who back in 2010 had Rayman becoming a second banana in a Rabbids game on their bingo card?
It was like... Well, 2006 was the first Rayman Raving Rabbids game. So... I don't know. Last good Rayman game was, of course, Rayman Legends. Which is... It is still the high mark for the Mario-style platformer. It's Mario, but you have to get good.
Mm-hmm. And Mario even, like you said earlier, Rayman Legends was so good that even Mario borrowed from it by doing some music levels in Wonder, where you move to the level to the sound of the beat. And like, you can't tell me even for a second that wasn't ripped right out of those fantastic music levels in Rayman Legends.
You can't go wrong with Eye of the Tiger. Come on.
That one, Black Betty. Oh my god. I loved those levels so bad. So much.
And also Woohoo.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for writing in, Ralph. Look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net, along with industry news and our gaming history articles. I have to say, for those you don't know, for some reason our RSS link is broken. So the last few episodes have not been going out to the and Ralph pointed this out to me, and our podcasts have not been uploading to, whatever, iTunes and stuff like that. So I have to figure out how to edit it and restore the RSS feed. If you're listening to this, you probably went to gamingpodcast.net and listened to it live in person. You don't have to download it. You can go to the website, but of course, obviously, it's easier to have it on your cell phone listening to it. But right now, we're having issues with that. So if you enjoy feedback, leave a comment at our blog here at gamingpodcast.net. And also, it's up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to it as an iTunes at some point when you're able to. And leave some iTunes comments at some point when you're able to. You can find me on Twitter X at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard of Moore.
And we will see you next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun. Be cool. Play games, y'all.